Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our in-depth adventure through the lands between. I'm your host, Let's Play Dark Souls HD, and today we are going to finish up the Fringe Folk Hero's Grave, and then we're going to do some other cool stuff. We're going to visit one more catacomb that I missed, and we're also going to pick up one weapon that I was not a huge fan of on my other character, but for the direction we're going on this one and the stats we have, it could have massive potential. So that's what we're going to focus on today. This particular encounter that we're about to deal with is pretty difficult. Oddly enough, let me show you my HUD. You'll notice I have 0 runes. Interestingly enough, I actually... Let's see if we can make it down to the next one without dying. Yeah! Alright. Fuck you, man. Whoa! Why do these guys have... Listen, man. Oh my god. We're off to a great start. Now this asshole's coming. Is he gonna go all the way up? He is not. Okay, whatever. This is still fine. Fuck. That is not fine. Here we go. Safe. Alright, good. So what you want to do for this part is you want to drop off right about here. You get your shield up immediately because there are fanged imps down here. Oddly enough, they don't see us, which is kind of cool. But to finish what I was saying, this is not my first time on the way down here because as I approached the Grafted Scion room that we're about to deal with, I started fighting one, and my controller died because I'm super professional, right, and highly prepared for these. He waxed me in 5 seconds. Like, I could not get my controller plugged in fast enough to avoid dying in that fight, so we're on attempt number 2 running down here. So I'm going to pick up my pile of runes that are being guarded by 2 Grafted Scions, and I'm going to show you guys the proper way to deal with this encounter, or... I won't call it proper. I will say, I'll show you guys how to do it the way that works for me. I'll finish this guy. And be careful against these imps that are down here, because these guys in particular, they're kind of beefy. They have a lot of defense, a little bit more health, and they hit pretty hard. So 100% keep your shield up against these guys. This part sucks. This thing is motion activated, right? Like, the other ones just constantly spew fire all the time. This is the only one I've found in this game that is activated by distance. So you get a certain amount of distance away from it, and that's what makes it shoot the flames. So, best way to deal with this one, 100%, hit it with a crossbow. And then you're going to have an imp waiting right here. And I have found that if you're having trouble hitting these imps... Oh, we got a smithing stone. If you're having trouble hitting these guys with your... Here's my rune pile. Wonderful. With your guard counters, I think if you aim the analog stick like a little bit off to the side, like to the left in particular, it... I think it kind of like alters your swing a little bit. And that guy has his back to you in there, right? Like, he pretty much is asking you for the backstab. I absolutely do not recommend doing that, though, because there's another one hanging from the ceiling, and if you can't kill this guy in one backstab, not only are you going to have a second one on your hands that's at full health, but he's going to stand up and start attacking you as well, and you never, ever want more than one of these at a time. Especially at this point in the game. Get down. Oh my god. Did not mean that. So yeah, I hit that guy with a bolt, and I backstabbed him, and he still didn't die. There's a little bit of lightning grease on this corpse here, so don't forget to pick that up. Here's what I recommend you do. Now, there's a couple different ways you can handle this. You can go in there, and you can keep them separate, and you can fight them one by one, or you can activate this thing, right? Like, you can kind of pull them away, and then once you pull them, you can bring them up into this room, and the fire thing will just take care of them. Like, you do still have to be careful not to get cooked yourself, but I think that has worked for me on other characters. But this is the Grafted Scion room, so I'll show you where they are. Got one right here, and if you intend to use the fire mechanism to kill them, sure, shoot them with a crossbow or something right now and get them to chase you. The other one is up there, way at the top of the screen. You can barely see him, you barely kind of lock onto him. But what I traditionally do is I just go over there where the second one is. It's hanging right above the item, and I just kick his ass. And then I go for the second one, which is going to be kind of patrolling this bridge over here. So you don't have to fight these guys. They don't drop anything, not that I know of, or at least, I mean, I've killed these guys on a total of 2 characters so far, and they have not dropped anything. So don't feel pressured to fight these guys. The only reason I'm going to fight them is because I think it's just a great idea to show you guys that you can do it. So what I recommend doing with these guys is do all of your buffs and whatnot before you get over there. So I'm going to Golden Vow. And then I think the first thing I want to do with this one is try to hit him with a fireball. Okay, I'm going to get our shield up. There we go. So I'm going to get the item, Third Tree's Favor. These guys are stronger than the one in the tutorial. 100%, you better believe that. They are definitely more difficult. And the problem with this encounter is that the second one, he traditionally will not give you a hard time. Like, he won't come over the bridge, but he can. That's the thing. Like, it's basically, it's almost entirely up to chance. So what I'm really hoping to do with these guys is I would really like to try to get the bleed on this guy. We'll jump back. And this little step right here, he cannot get up the step. It's wonderful. I like it a lot. Okay, hopefully that one does not come over here. We'll use our technique that we know worked against this guy before. Come on. Try to get this guy killed before the other one comes over here. Now that jump attack is about the only thing he can do to get up here on these steps. Anything else that he does, he won't be able to reach you. Come on. And hopefully, like I said, it's just entirely up to chance. Sometimes the second one can immediately, like, aggro on you, but you just hope he doesn't, you know? Fuck, that's not fair at all. I'm in a corner. Okay. There we go. So there's one. And again, these ones are slightly more difficult than the one tutorial, but they're not so difficult to where our massively leveled up Knight Rider Flail and nice thick shield with Barricade Shield can't handle them. So I'm gonna pull this one. We get him over here. You want to fight these guys in an area like this where you know that you'll have plenty of room. So I'm gonna do the same thing against this guy. I'm just gonna use the steps against him because it's safe, it makes sense, and come on, there's 2 of them. You gotta use every form of advantage that you have against these guys. Come on, man. God. Double Grafted Scions. What the hell were they thinking, man? And it's not super easy to apply the technique that I use in the tutorial in this spot because it's pretty tight. Like, you know, the other one is in a nice open tutorial area, right? Whereas this guy is kind of like, oh shit, that was a bad idea. I thought I had my shield up. This guy is in a relatively tight spot, and there's ledges you can fall off of, and it's slightly awkward to fight these guys in here, but I think that's why they did it. I think that's the point. I think their whole thing was, Let's see how well you fight him this time. But as long as you stay up here, you're pretty much good. Like, you know, occasionally, yeah, he'll chase you up the steps like that, it's fine, but just lead him around, you know? Can't see. There we go. We'll get on the other end. There we go. Not bad. And to try to speed things up, I think I'll try to hit him with a couple fireballs, maybe, if he does the stab combo. And this guy in particular, so this enemy is not impossible to proc bleed on, but I think they're kind of resistant to it. Because it's not something that's easy to do with this weapon. I've noticed that even though I try to get consistent hits against them, the bleed just doesn't proc. So it's like, I'm not worried about it because every time we hit them, we're doing okay damage, but, you know, don't worry about trying to bleed or poison them or anything like that. Like, there's no super advanced strategy needed for these guys. Just use the steps against them, and whatever you do, don't go near the bridge while you're fighting the first one, because if you aggro them both, that's when you officially need to re-strategize. Like, my tip in regard to that is, if you get to a point where you have to fight both of them at the same time, at that point I recommend trying as hard as you can to get over that bridge, and then leading them up to the fire mechanism and just trying to let that finish them. Alright. So, that wasn't so bad. It can go worse than that. Believe me, it can and it will. But for our sake, that time it was okay. I do want to take a look at the talisman they dropped, though. So again, this is not something that's going to replace the Source Seal, but it's probably going to take our second slot. This is the Erd Tree's Favor. It raises your maximum HP, stamina, and equip load. A talisman depicting a special blessing of the Erd Tree. It is said that when the age of the Erd Tree began, such blessings were personally bestowed upon their recipients by Queen Marika herself. Good stuff. That's probably going to be what goes in our second slot when we beat Margit. So, once you beat that part, it's time to drop down another level. So we'll go down here, and then we're going to go down into this this pool, which totally looks like Scarlet Rot, but don't worry, it's not. There's no status effect, it's just disgusting. It's literally a giant pool that is full of bones and probably flesh and blood, and it's pretty nasty. Now, around this corner, there's a Banished Knight. Which, well, not quite this corner. He's going to be up the elevator, but he's going to be basically this guy. Banished Knight Ingol, essentially who we're going to be fighting. So I'm going to go prone. And don't go for that item. Like, that's why he's there. He's designed to aggro as soon as you go for this item, you see what I mean? So, here we go. Get our shield going. Probably need to drink... Oh, shit! Except he teleports. So these guys are exactly like the ones in Stormveil, but a little bit trickier. Fuck. So for this part, get behind the wall. And careful when you dodge against this guy. Yeah, some of the angles up here can be weird, especially because of the walls. So I'll just use my guard counters. When he leaves his back open to me with a jump attack, I'll take advantage of that. God, that guy's worth so much more than 168 runes. He's pretty tough. We got another stone sword key. Excellent. So this part in particular is this is the real appeal of getting all the way down here. If you make it past the Grafted Scions, this is the part that's going to be super satisfying, is we finally get to kill the chariot. And if you never thought it was possible, watch and learn. It's great. So I have a system set up for this. It took me a lot of time and practice to really figure out the timing for this whole chariot business, but the idea is you have 3 pots up here, so you have 3 opportunities, and they do come back if you rested a grace, or, you know, if you quit out of the game, I think. I haven't tested that, but I do know that if you rested a grace, they will come back. We might, if we don't do it in 3 tries, we might quit out and see if that works, but they do come back. So you can try again, but what you want to do is you want to aim for the string, or the chain, that's holding those pots up, and you want to drop it down right on the chariot. The one that I think works the best and has the easiest timing is you wait for him to collide with this wall, and when he turns around, you shoot that one, and you'll have pretty decent luck with that, so let's try it out. Well, I missed. Okay. He's turning around. Damn it, I missed again. My god, I suck at this. Alright. Wow. Maybe. Might be able to do it. Wow. Bam. Would you look at that? Alright. And then you get the Erd Tree Great Bow. Killer weapon. So I know I made that look super difficult, but it's really not. Like, honestly, if that tells you anything, it's harder to hit the stupid chain to drop the pot than it is to time it. You heard the timing, just turn up the volume and listen for it. You wait for him to collide with this wall, and as soon as you hear the wheels spinning, as in you hear, like, you don't want to hit it right as he slams into the wall, you want to hit it right as you hear him swiveling to go back down the hill. And that seems to be the best timing that has worked for me while doing this part. So now that he's out of the way, you can drop down here and you're free to explore the rest of the level. You can do this entire process in peace, and it makes getting down to the boss significantly easier. It makes getting to the Banished Knight that drops Ingval much easier, but I tend to save it for last because it's kind of tedious. But now that we've dealt with all of that, we're going to go do something else now. We're going to go, and I would just warp. Well, I can. Okay, it's true because we beat the boss, so okay, yeah, why not? Let's just get the hell out of here. So I'm going to go to the Saint's Bridge. And the catacomb that we're going to do is just above the High Road Cave. And it's going to be like literally right here-ish. So we're going to head that way. And this catacomb in particular is going to have a somewhat challenging boss that is totally capable of giving people a hard time. Interestingly enough, this boss is at like half health. Here it is, right here. But that doesn't make him any less difficult. Unthinkable, our hallowed resting place is violated. To refuse the Erdtree's call to return, to live within death. Sickening. It's interesting that this guy mentions this because the boss that we're going to fight in here, I'm going to make an observation when we get to him involving his condition and the amount of health that he has, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it. But before we go in there, I just want to run out here for a second to make sure we grabbed the item that's near this pole, and it doesn't look like we did. Wow. Worth. Even if it's just a little golden rune. So now we're going to go into this cave. And if you're interested in getting the Uchigatana early on in your playthrough, This is the cave that you find it in. FYI. So let's go. The Death-Touched Catacombs. The Beast Eye Quivers. So we took a look at the Beast Eye after we talked to Gurunk. Right here. Said to tremble when close to Deathroot. So anytime it says the Beast Eye Quivers, the first time I encountered this event on my first playthrough, I thought you were supposed to use it to invade somebody. Kind of like how in Dark Souls, you've got the eye that quivers when you need to invade Lautrec in Orlando, if you do his questline. Skeletons. Yippee. It's time to have a nice tussle with those who live in death. You're about to be those who stay in death, boy. Just trust me, by the time I'm done with you, you're gonna wish you stayed asleep. Anywho, oh yeah, these guys are weaker. Definitely weaker than the enemies we were just tussling with. This catacomb in particular is probably going to be your first event in dealing with the Beast Eye Orb. And all it means when you see it quivering is you don't invade somebody like you would in Dark Souls. It's all it is it means that the boss that you're about to fight is going to drop a death root. Which is great, because if you're following the questline with Gurunk, you want those. I'm just going to tear through these guys. We don't want to miss our grave glove warts. We're going to use these to upgrade our spirit ashes. Gimme. Well, Archer guy isn't even looking at us. He's completely facing the wrong way. Too late. I already killed your friend. Your coworker has become a company fatality. Okay. Oh boy, more skeletons. Yippee. That's it. Come on over. If I don't have to waste a bolt on you, I won't. Okay, we'll get him. Where'd the other one go? Oh, he's over there. Okay. We'll get these guys first. Well, I guess it won't let me. I know they're gonna come alive. Okay. Let's use our brains on this one. Pull them. We'll deal with these guys just like we would the catacombs in Dark Souls. And I see you hiding over there, extra skeleton. Come on, man. You're dragging this out. You know you're toast. Wait for the arrow. There we go. Oh, he dropped down. What a dumbass. No, you're not getting through this shield. Sorry. Okay, I know these two are gonna get up. Let's do our due diligence. Fuck. Deal with this guy first. Well, they're really not. Interesting. Another human bone shard. We can make another one of those throwing items. The Rancor pot, I think it was called. The Blood Rose. Okay, more Grave Violet, which is, ironically, the second ingredient needed for that pot. Well, hi. Nice to see everybody. Ooh. You. Come on over. That's it. Lame. Man, I'm always looking for these hidden walls, man. I'm always looking for them. You. Let's go. Aww. See if we can do it like this. Yeah. Come on over. Okay. Never hurts to check. And I feel like in a lot of these style of catacombs, there's always these hidden walls. No, you expect me to believe I can just pick these up? Yeah, that's what I thought. Instead of that, I will do this. Little strategic switch up just to keep them down. Gimme, gimme. Now we're gonna go take care of these assholes that were shooting at us. I do not want him to fall though, because then he's just gonna revive down there. No. Bruh. Wow. That fucking stab attack is so OP. Jerk. And there we go. We got our Uchi. And the Uchi is a fantastic weapon. Like, if you're doing anything, it doesn't matter if it's strength or dexterity based, it doesn't matter what it is. That looks like a death root, by the way. Like, I don't think we have one because we gave it to Gurranq already, but when we get one, I'll show you what I mean. It looks just like this thing on the wall. Crazy. Now we're gonna go fight the boss. The boss is, let me just get a nice spirit summon ready. Because the boss is, they can be interesting to fight. He's not impossible by any means, but I'll keep the wolves. Why not? They'll probably help. He's not impossible by any means, but if you're not ready for him, he can be kind of tough. But there's interesting properties about him, and we're going to talk about those. So for this fight in particular, we're supposed to be able to get an NPC summon, I think. It's supposed to be D. Might help us with this guy. I might be mistaken in that, but alright, let's do this. Get our attack up. I don't have any of that, so I will use a different kind of grease. Magic. Why not? And then we'll use our wolves when we get in there, and then we'll buff them. So this guy, Black Knife Assassin, he is at half health. It's weird, right? Okay, barricade shield. This guy's fast. He's really, really fast. And he's covered in blood, man. Look at him. He's bloody. Like, this guy's clearly been in a fight. And he doesn't have, like, a bunch of poise. But, I mean, you can see he sends me flying, even with my badass shield. And even with shield barricade, he's backstabbable. So he went down pretty easy. But you get the Assassin's Crimson Dagger and 1,600 runes for beating that guy. And this is a pretty cool talisman. This is essentially like your red Tearstone ring. Or no, critical hits restores. Be okay. This one, you get the critical hits, and you get just a little bit of health. It's not a huge amount of health. Like, I really don't think that it's even enough to really benefit you in PvE, but in PvP, I would imagine that could be pretty useful, especially if you're trying to fight some gankers. And then we got our death root. Let's take a look at the death root, because I wanted to see it. Yeah, see, it looks very reminiscent of those roots that we were just looking at, that big clump. A source that gives rise to those who live in death. The beast clergyman, found at Bestial Sanctum in the distant east, Gurunk, collects and devours these roots. On the night of the dire plot, the stolen rune of death enabled the first death of a demigod. Later, the rune of death spread across the lands between through the underground roots of the great tree, sprouting in the form of death root. So, the amount of storytelling and lore that we uncovered just from this one item description is astounding, because that's what these roots are, I think. Because if you follow Vadi's channel, Vadi he talks a lot about the lore and stuff like that, and he actually just released a video talking about the lore and all of that, and it's just called Elden Ring Story Explained, which is a slightly misleading title because there's still a lot to uncover about this game and the story, but it's essentially Vadi's way of explaining to you what he knows so far via his crazy research map that he does, connecting the dots and everything. And there's a lot of work put into it. It's super high quality content. If you don't already follow him, you really should. He's very good at what he does. He's probably my favorite Souls content creator at the end of the day. But he used to be Epic Name Bro, but he kind of lost his way. But anyway, that item description kind of confirms that there's two different trees. There's an Erd tree, and then there's a great tree, which, that's pretty cool. So we'll get rid of our marker. And now what we need to do is the other thing I mentioned. We need to go back down to the Weeping Peninsula. And we need to go to Tombsword. But we don't want the cave. We want to be near the graveyard. Because what we want to do is we want to be near where Selen's flesh is, which should be... Here we go, the Witchbane Ruins. I think that's pretty damn close to where it is. Let's go there. So what I'm looking for is the Winged Scythe. It is not my favorite weapon. I tried to use it on my other character, and it's got some really crazy effects. Like, it stops people from healing. I'm telling you, it's a super dangerous weapon, and it's really cool. But, let's see, I'm going the wrong way. Okay. There are more of these headless folks that are basically like Headless Lulu. And they're not fighting. Okay, so I guess the bats are on the same side as these guys. I always like to pay attention and try to see who's fighting who doesn't like who. Like, we already know everything wants to fight us and kill us, but... Ew, that thing comes back? Yuck, didn't know that. Learned something new. Alright, let's go down here. Okay, this is not where it is. This is where she is. Alright, let's go... Let's see. I'm trying to think. Maybe it's like right out here somewhere. Alright, let's go. Get out of my way. Let's look around here and do a little bit of exploring just to make sure we didn't miss it. If there's a second catacomb or something like that that goes down below. Because I knew I covered this. I knew I went down there and showed where Selen is, but what I need to do is go uphill here. Look our map for a second. Okay, we're heading in the right direction. Let's go. So I already did this cave right here. And that Wandering Mausoleum, we will deal with that soon enough. Once we find a boss soul that is suitable to replicate. Yes, yes, yes. Give me these. Here we go. This is what we wanted right here. Tombsword Ruins. Here, I'll put on my thing so you guys can see. Hey, it's a page. Alright, love these guys. So the pages can be kind of dangerous if you're not careful. They shoot exploding bolts with their crossbow. You know, one at a time, they're manageable. But, okay, alright, so they didn't do us dirty this time. Usually what they do is they stick one of those pages like right around the corner, and then they leave one right out in the open, so you're drawn to the one that's immediately visible. You have no idea there's one waiting around the corner. They can be quite pesky to deal with in numbers. Ooh, that is what you want to look out for. No, sir. And they're pretty nimble, too. They can dodge a lot of your attacks unexpectedly. Here we go. Let's get our Scythe. Bam. Now, the reason I said that this is going to be pretty applicable to our build is because, just watch. We don't have the Faith for it just yet, but it is a Faith dexterity weapon, and it's got triple scaling. It's got an E in Strength, a D in Dex, and a D in Faith, and you can rack up some pretty good damage with this thing, and the weapon art is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. The weapon art prevents people from using their flasks. It's a very overlooked passive ability that can probably be nightmarish in PvP, but I'm going to give it a shot on this character. Once we're level up enough to use it, we'll start using it, and yeah, we'll give it a shot. So, here's what we're going to do now. Before I go pushing into Stormveil, let me do this. We'll head back to the Roundtable Hold. We'll see if there's any new dialogue, just to make sure, because once we go into Stormveil, everything's going to kind of change. I also need to go track down the girl that he's looking for. We want to go find her first before we do Stormveil. Here, let me do this. Just because we're here, and just because I want to do her questline, I'm going to use the Baldakin's Blessing. And I'm going to go talk to her again.
I am pleased to see you again. Would you like me to hold you once more?
I mean, if you're offering.
Come closer. You are so very warm.
Thank you. Okay, we have the talk in secret dialogue.
I was known as a deathbed companion. Where I come from, after I received the warmth and lively vigor from a number of champions, I lay with the remains of an exalted noble. To grant him another chance at life, to do so is the purpose of my being. But before I could bear the noble into new life, I was awakened by the guidance of grace and chased from my birthplace. Pray, be kind. Despite all that, I still wish to be a deathbed companion. So please, let me hold you like this, as often as it takes. Then good day to you, my dear.
Alright, good stuff. I don't care that she's been collecting the warmth and vigor of many a champion. It doesn't bother me that she gets around.
Well,
she's just doing her thing, you know?
no matter, lay out your own.
Okay, so the scythe that we picked up, the wing scythe, it requires somber smithing stones. I don't know that I'm going to use the ones I have on it, but we just might. What I'm definitely going to upgrade is this. Let's take a look at the Erdtree bow, though. This thing is really cool. It's heavy. It's very heavy. It's a great bow. Weighs 11 units. But it has okay base stats. I mean, the base stats on it are just decent, and the range on it is just decent for a great bow. Again, triple scaling. This thing scales pretty good with Faith. There's a smaller version of this bow that's just called the Erdtree bow, and we will probably use that for our, final Faith build pulling weapon that's just dedicated to our stats, instead of this thing. But this guy. I had kind of an epiphany. The jar cannon that I find to be superior to this weapon is so much further into the game. We're not going to get that until we're in, Mount Gelmir, I'm pretty sure is where you get it. And that's just so damn far away. And I'm impatient. I want to use something like this that's hilarious to use and incredibly powerful. So I'm going to start upgrading this thing so we can use it. Yeah. Gonna waste smithing stones on it. It's pretty good. And I know I don't have the stats to wield it yet. I think we need... If we two-hand it, we just might. Let's try. Okay. And then we'll jump down into our area. Let's see what we got. Okay, yeah, we still can't use it. There's still a red X. Wow. It needs 30 strength. We have 19. Not enough. But that's okay. And I know Gideon doesn't have anything to say. Or at least he shouldn't. But... Alright. Here's what I'm going to do now. We're going to go up here to this Stormhill shack. And I mentioned this in the last video. Instead of running straight into Stormveil, I think what I would rather do is clear most of, like, the small stuff first. So it is night time. Perfect. Let me rest at Disgrace. I want to try to take care of everything, including both Deathbirds. So that's what we'll do right here. Is we're going to murder both Deathbirds. This one on Stormhill we will take care of. Get your ass down here, Deathbird. We use like a buffer, maybe some lightning. Come on. I think this is where he shows up. It's supposed to be. Maybe not. I think we're... Yeah, no, we're not there. This is not the right spot. He shows up a little further down on, like, actual Stormhill. Hey, how did I miss this? Ooh, the explodey boys. Don't like that. Oh, it's payday. Hell yeah. Just watch out for the explodey boys. It's not going to be payday if you die. You feel me? Okay, look at these. Come on. Come on. Oh, damn it. Really? Really? Think I got time to mess with you? What a joke. There we go. Yeah, alright. There we go. Very nice. There's my map. Okay, yeah, we need to head a little further down this way. There are some spots on the map that just look exactly the same. It's so easy to get confused. Here we go. This is the spot we want to go to. This is Deathbird round 1. So let's do our thing. We will buff our weapon. We'll use... Lightning is fine. Okay. And then we'll run over onto this giant piece of cliff. And he should drop down right on our head. Get down here. Yeah. Come on. Here we go. Now, Deathbird is interesting to fight. He can do a lot of damage. Like, a couple of hits will kill you if you don't have a lot of health. But I don't really recommend locking on him. He will take, additional damage to the head. And he also does a scream that you gotta watch out for. The peck attack that you see him doing right there is problematic if you get hit by the whole thing. But, watch out for the pole. It's a 2-hit attack. This ram has some serious freaking audacity, bro. Okay, I don't want to get pecked. So what you want to watch out for, really, is the scream. And... Yay! I literally just said you want to watch out for the scream. And here we are. Okay. Nope. Nope. Alright, I'm gonna bubble just to be safe, and he's relatively close to dying. Another ram. Wow. Now, using Torrent... Oh my god. And bats. Using Torrent against this guy and ranged magic / incantations is perfectly viable, right? Like, you can do it. Nope. My shield's good, bro. Okay. But, I like to get up and personal with Deathbird because he's just really not that threatening. Like, if you get hit with the grab attack, which I don't know how that hit me. If you get hit with a grab attack, you can kind of get into some trouble, and it can get a little bit intense. But just watch out for the scream. He usually will follow up with a grab attack after the scream, which the scream will cause damage to you, similar to the Grafted Scions. And he dropped a talisman that we're going to take a look at as soon as my ADHD wears off. Okay, so the talisman that he drops is the blue tearstone ring of the game. Raises offense when HP is low. It's called the Blue Feather Branch Sword. And then, yes, just like the other Souls games, there is... Did that bat drop something? I think the goat did. Just like the other Souls games, there's a red version as well, but we're not going to get that until a different Deathbird. Well, you know what? Because I love you guys, and I'm feeling kind of frisky, we are going to fight the second Deathbird, since it's still nighttime, and we have time. So let me rest at this grace. And get on Torrent. We're going to go murder Deathbird number 2. Which, been a minute since I fought this one. I think the way you get to this one is through here. He is on the way to the castle. I think he's like, yeah, he's near these bats. These bats fucking suck, though. Alright, let's do this. Let's see if we can pull these bats and get rid of them, because they're not necessarily going to turn the fight super difficult or anything, but it's better to get rid of them. Like, it's better to have them out of the way. Ooh. Alright, come on. Yeah, it was me. I was the one that did it. Ooh. Look, you're making this way more difficult than it needs to be. Oh shit, he's here. There we go. I summon the Deathbird. Nice. No. God. Ooh. Alright. So I'm going to show you what I mean when I say it's viable to spam magic and incantations on him. You just run around on Torrent. You really can. Alright, so let's do this. We'll bubble up. Ooh. That's kind of sucked. Nope. Nope, don't want to get pecked. Heal. And locking onto Deathbird, I really don't recommend, because he's the part of him that you want to hit, you can't really lock onto. So, there you go. Shield up. A little bit of barricade shield. And he really can't hit you if you're back here. It's great. Just wait for the turnaround, because he'll do that, you know. Ooh. And then there's the second hit. Yeah. I don't recommend blocking his attacks. Just keep your shield up in the event that you do. Like if it's your only option, you know. Like, I recommend rolling them and just getting really close to him. Eek. If you hit him in his little chicken butt here. I don't think so. Come on. You know you're gonna die. There we go. And you get an item from this Deathbird. He drops the Sacrificial Axe. Let's take a look at this guy. So it's a one-handed axe, right? It's more like a hatchet-type weapon, similar to what the imps use. But this guy's it's pretty cool. It's got a D in strength and a D in dexterity, and it has wild strikes on it. It's not super heavy either. It's a 5.5 unit one. Hatchet used in ancient sacrificial rite. A Deathbird is depicted as a malevolent deity. The power of the rite yet lingers. A small amount of FP is restored upon slaying foes. It's pretty cool. And look, it looks like just like a little hatchet, you know? It's pretty awesome. And it's got the wild strikes on it. Yeah. It's pretty cool weapon art. So it's not right for us in our build particularly, but if you kill that Deathbird, that's not a bad weapon to use. I recommend giving that a shot if you like using the axe class weapons. Now those should be the only two Deathbirds that spawn in Limgrave. And I think the next ones that we end up fighting are probably going to be at Liurnia. And they get a little bit more challenging as you work your way up in there. So we should be able to level up after a couple Deathbird kills. There we go. Not bad. So I'll start pumping into Faith, because we're going to start working towards the Scythe, I guess. And then I'll passively level up my strength as well so we can use the hand ballista. But the last thing I want to show in this video before we go into Stormveil is I think it's important to show the separate way to get past Stormveil, just in case you are struggling with Margit, which is perfectly fine, because Margit is not called a skill check boss for nothing. He 100% is the hardest thing you will encounter in your first 25% of this journey. But we're going to head up this way towards this finger reader crone icon, which all that requires is kind of following the main road. And it's like a secret, sort of hidden way to get into Liurnia. Oh, come on, de-aggro me. You know what? I just thought of something. We're supposed to do that encampment. I don't want to miss that. Okay, hold on. Change plans. I'm still going to show this, just next. We wanted to do down here. There was, yes. There was an encampment with some pain-in-the-ass enemies that requires a little bit of strategy to get through right here. Yeah. I can't believe I almost forgot about this. Goodness. Would not be good to skip. Unless I already did it. Shoo. That's a tanky dog, man. Let me see. Kill this guy. I think we actually did do this encampment. Nope, there's the chest. Okay, I was wrong. Alright, so let's be smart about this. Here's what you want to do in this place. Night or day, doesn't matter. Stealth is stealth. It all works the same. I recommend taking these guys down like this. And keep your eyes peeled because they are everywhere. They're kind of sitting around in spots where they're not moving a whole lot, so it's easy to not notice them. There is one guy over here by the chest that we want to get rid of. And the advantage we have... Oop, meant to just load it. The advantage we have of being able to shoot while crouched is real nice. Okay. We'll open this chest. There we go. Beast Crest Heater Shield. Take a look at that in just a second. Pull these dogs. Oh, come on, man. This fucking crossbow is so cool, but has a one drawback that's just It's not even this one either. It's all the crossbows kind of have this one drawback. So I'll wait for this guy to come back over. We can speed this up by pulling him. Except his walking speed is clearly superior to the power of my crossbow, so that's not going to happen. Come on, man. I really need you to come over here. Absolutely not. Okay, yeah, give me my bolts back. Okay. And this part, there's a reason I'm doing this part the way I'm doing it. You absolutely want this knight by himself. Do not bother trying to fight the knight plus 2 dogs. Terrible idea. So that should be everybody. There shouldn't be anybody else. But I'm going to do my thing. I'll buff up. And we'll do this. Get a free shot on him. Just to get his health down that much more. Barricade shield. Come on. There we go. And this guy's got a big-ass sword. Like, he's not like the spear one. Nice. We'll grab some exalted flesh. Alright. And I always check these tents, you know. You can break these items that lead into the tents, and later on in some levels like Lanedale Capital and stuff like that, the Altus Plateau, items hiding in those tents will be a little bit more prominent, but never hurts to check. Because most of these are going to be empty. Most of the time, you're going to waste your time trying to roll through here to look inside, but I do it anyway. Okay, nothing over here. We are going to get rid of this big dog, though. Damn, that looked like it hurt. Shoo. And these guys, we can just kind of pick them off. Except we can't. Jesus. Alright. I feel like this game comes up with some kind of scenario to get rid of whatever good idea you have, no matter what it is. How about just like raw brutality and anger? You got a method of resistance for that, you dick. Alright. Let me recompose myself. Now, we cleared that area, and I'm glad we did, because we got a really cool shield out of it, which I think we're going to switch to. I do love the Confessor look, but there's ways to change things up without losing the Confessor look. We can do this, you know. Still looks kind of Confessor-ish, and we can see the work that we put into the female character, or the work that I put into it, rather. And this guy, it's got one more point of guard boost, so it's got better stability, but there's no difference in weight. And it's significantly better at blocking magic and fire. Okay, not significantly, but it is better nonetheless. So that thing looks cool. That's like some Dragon's Dogma shit right there. It looks good on the back too. So now what we're going to do is we're going to follow the road here. And we're going to go off into a direction that is very hidden. It's super easy to miss. But I think it's worth showing this, because in the event that you are struggling to get through Margit, which, again, like I said before, there's not a damn thing wrong with that. He's very hard to kill. Don't be surprised if I don't beat him on the first attempt, you know. I'm pretty serious about that. He's pretty challenging, so I'm going to show you guys that there's a way to get through Stormveil without fighting him. But first, we're going to talk to the Finger Reader Crone.
Please, I can read them. Your fingers, please, your fingers. Oh, bless you. Head to the fountain of gold tarnished. Traverse Rea Lucaria. Glintstone Eventide, and reunite the half-crescents at the Grand Lift. Oh, but the bridge is collapsed and cannot be crossed. Only, why should that matter? Stormveil Castle still stands tall.
Interesting. So, this is Stormveil right here. That is standing tall. And we got a couple things in there. She mentioned Raya Lucaria, which is going to be, you know, way up here in Liurnia of the Lakes, where Raya Lucaria is somewhere up in here. But they also mentioned Glintstone, which is a form of sorcery. Glintstone Eventide. I think this is the only dialogue that I know of in this game that mentions that term. And it kind of resonated with me because there's some big conflict going on between Raya Lucaria and Stormveil Castle, and we're going to uncover some more of that information as we push our way through. But the crone mentioned this as well, that the bridge is broken, that there's no way down. Tier 7 Nomadic Cookbook. Let's see what we got. Soft cotton, stanching boluses, and then the rainbow stone arrow. So the soft cotton, I'm going to go over my inventory in the next episode. We're going to talk about like the importance of the items that we've already picked up, what we can do to craft, and how those things are going to be useful to us in Stormveil. It's probably going to take up the first 10 or so minutes of the next episode. So this is the secret way to get past Stormveil. So looking at where we are in the map, this massive tan-ish looking region is all Stormveil, and the bridge to get through it is busted. But if you traverse your way slowly down here, with a little bit of footing, you can make it onto this platform. And then there's this hidden path that kind of wraps around the mountain. It's really, really easy to miss. It's super sneaky of them that they did this, but it's pretty cool. So I'm put on my thing so you can see. And check this out. It's just this winding, grassy path that leads right along Stormveil, just along the side of it. And will take you directly past it. There are some bats and some wolves on the way up here, but I don't think there's any items. Not that I have seen or can remember. So just be careful. Watch your footing. Don't go sprinting off a ledge or anything. If you don't want to fight the wolves or whatever, you know, don't. It's up to you. I kind of prefer to just run past them because they're not worth the trouble they cause. And here you have it. This is the back end of Castle Stormveil and Liurnia of the Lakes. We've arrived. Pretty cool. So the only thing I want to do before we end this video is I want to run into this room real quick, because there's an item that we want to grab. The Shabriri Grape. And if it looks like an eyeball, it's because it's an eyeball. A yellow oozing eyeball of the infirm. The surface is shriveled and the inside is squishy, not unlike a large, overly ripe grape. Give to the blind maiden to guide her to the distant light. And then we have this ladder that goes up, which will lead further into Stormveil. I'll go up here just to show it a little bit. Not that you would want to go up here. You want to go in through the front of Stormveil because it's a legacy dungeon. It's super epic. It's a lot of fun. But just to show it off. Here's the throne room. Can you imagine who it belongs to? Take a wild guess. We've been hearing his name constantly. And when you come up to this door, nothing. Dead end. You can't even attack in here. It's a safe zone, kind of like the Roundtable Hold. So, just wanted to show that, so that way you don't waste your time going up the ladder. Because ideally, the reason that this whole spot is here is because you're supposed to make your way down here after you beat Godric. Maiden, dear maiden, where are you? Please, take my grapes. Buy me dinner first, man. I don't want your grapes. I think what he was referring to is the eyeballs, but I'm a fucking idiot, so let me do my thing. And we are going to grab this grace here. Alright, good shit. This is the maiden that he was referring to. She's the one that wants the Shabriri grapes.
Hello? Is someone there? My name is Hyetta, and I'm journeying in search of the distant light. If I might be so bold as to ask, would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me? My eyesight has been weak since birth, you see. I can't tell which way I'm supposed to go next, but when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel a distant light in the back of my eyes. It will lead me to my true duty as a finger maiden.
I have so many problems with this dialogue. So, like, for one, the girl's blind. Like, she's blindfolded. We don't know how well her eyes work. She says they really don't. But we don't know if she's, like, legitimately blind or if she's just blindfolded. But somebody was fucked up enough to feed her an eyeball and call it a grape, right? Like, they were like, these grapes are really good. They're pretty ripe and kind of squishy, but you should try one. And then they fed her a damn eyeball. So that, but the other thing is, what kind of crazy storytelling is this that she uses these eyeballs as like a form of spiritual GPS? Like, she says that she eats the grape and then magically she knows the direction to whatever the bright light is. And from what I've covered in the lore, I'm pretty sure she's talking about the Frenzied Flame, because if you look at the icon, that and you can rewind the video if you want to like zoom in on the eyeball, but the icon, the eyeball itself, it looks like it has the Frenzied Flame, or the Flame of Frenzy, whatever you want to call it, in it. So I'm pretty sure this girl's story ties in pretty close with the whole Frenzy Flame thing, which is really cool, and we're going to make sure that we get her all the way to the end of her quest line. But there's just some serious, there's some serious inappropriateness happening with this girl, because she's being fed eyeballs, and look at her, she's just got her hands out. She's just like, please let me eat these eyeballs. My goodness.
Oh, many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
Goodness. And we get the as you wish.
You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
So she knows about the two fingers and all that. It's pretty cool. So, alright. This is exciting, guys. We are officially getting to the point where we're about to power into Stormveil. We're going to kick Margit's ass, and then we're going to have a lot of fun progressing through Stormveil. There's a million different ways you can tackle it, and I'm going to show you some fun ways to do it so that it can be most enjoyable for you. And then Godric is no safer than Margit. We're going to absolutely crush him and then make our way here, where the grace is pointing, out into Liurnia of the Lakes. And just to give you guys a quick teaser of what's in store. Does this not look incredible to you? This is Liurnia of the Lakes. It's not Limgrave. It's not the same thing. It's not just an extension of Limgrave. When we get out there and start seeing this stuff and exploring here, you're going to notice that it's pretty amazing. There's Raya Lucaria out there in the middle of the lakes, which was just mentioned to us, and we're going to cover everything that Liurnia has to offer. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to have a blast showing you guys through that area, and then all the way out there, and that bullshit, you have like Lanedale Capital way out there on the cliff nearing the Erd Tree. It's attached to it, basically. And then the spiky, angry rocks out here is Mount Gelmir. And that establishment that you can kind of see off of Mount Gelmir is the Volcano Manor. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm getting very excited thinking about what's in store for us in this playthrough. But that is all the time that I have for now, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me in the next episode when we go into Stormveil. We're going to have a lot of fun with that, and I'm going to show you some interesting ways to navigate through it so that you won't have such a hard time. I've been your faithful host, Let's Play Dark Souls HD, and I will catch all of you guys in the next video.